Hello, I am Thembi Duncan, Director of Arts Engagement and Education at Shea's Performing Arts Center. I'm here with Albert Nocciolino, President of NAC Entertainment and longtime producing partner of our Shea's Performing Arts Center M&T Bank Broadway series. I'm also here with Mr. Michael G. Murphy, who is the President of Shea's Performing Arts Center. Welcome to you both.
Nice to see you.
Thank you very much, Thembi.
Yeah.
So, we're going to get started and we're going to talk to our subscribers about all the questions that they have. But first, I would love to give the two of you an opportunity to talk a little bit about what we've been doing, what we've been thinking about, and the conversations that have been happening around Broadway, around our Broadway series, and around theater in general.
I'll talk a bit about this lonely stage.
Yeah.
Here we are in Shea's Buffalo Theater. The stage has been quite lonely since Hello Dolly closed on March 12th. But we're looking forward to someday being able to reopen again. We're not sure exactly when, but we're looking forward to having all of these seats filled again. Actors on the stage, stagehands, wardrobe, musicians in the pit. It's going to be quite wonderful once we're back.
I think that's well said, Thembi. I miss being here in the theater and the noise at intermission, you know, the excitement at the end of the show, the Shea's theater and the audiences that made this one of the most spectacular venues in America, one of the great subscription markets, is something that we should all be proud of, and we miss so much. But we're working on coming back. As we all know, that's the magic word, when, you know, when are we coming back? But the position we're in here at Shea's is the same position every performing arts center is in around the country. Seasons announced, shows postponed, tours postponed, and working on rescheduling. And so that's what we've been doing. And we look forward to that time when we can come back and all the excitement that happens here at Shea's.
Yeah, we're sitting here on the stage of Shea's Performing Arts Center, and behind us are thousands of seats. And so a lot of questions that people are asking is, okay, with social distancing, how are we going to get people back in? How are we going to deal with seat assignments and things like that? And I'm curious, have we given some thought to that, or is it completely out of the question? Where are we on social distancing?
So I think I'll take that, Michael. So certainly during all of this, the protocols have been developed, whether it's early on or now, have allowed for certain businesses to have social distancing, limited audiences. Our industries, very simply because of the economics, and we've been very clear about this, and we've amplified this at the state level with Broadway and with all the theaters across New York State, and frankly throughout the entire country, that our economics won't allow us to function at limited capacity. We still have all of the Broadway shows, whether on New York or on the road, that spend millions and millions of dollars to capitalize them and produce them. And so they're dependent on generating income on a weekly basis to recoup that capitalization. And then you have the 10 or 15 or 20 tractor trailers and the company of 100 and all the stagehands and the labor and everything that goes into mounting a show for 1 week. And so therefore, it's important for us when we do open to be able to open at 100% capacity. And that's one of the challenges that we're dealing with as an industry right now.
So a lot of people have questions about the season that passed. They worried. We lost part of Hello Dolly, and they were worried about the other shows in the season. And I have folks who ask questions about, will they be able to see those shows again, or do we just lose those shows?
Every show will be coming to Shea's. All the shows that we were prepared to present last spring and this season will be coming to Shea's. We're not sure of the exact dates, but every show we promised, Buffalo's going to be able to see. And we're excited that all the shows, these great hits from Broadway that have been touring the country until COVID hit, will still be coming to Buffalo. We got some great stuff coming. And then we'll be integrating new shows into the future seasons. So it'll take a couple years. We're not putting all the shows into one season. We will spread it out so that people are comfortably able to see all the shows at a reasonable pace.
Excellent, excellent update. Thank you. How about you?
Yeah, I think that's right on. I mean, I think what's important for our subscribers and our patrons to know is that every single show that was postponed is going back out on the road. They need to get back out there. They want to get back out there. They're all booked. They were all announced, no differently than we did back in March. We announced our new season, and we still had 3 shows left on the current season. The question is, what is that season? And certainly it's not this year, because it's almost 9 months, almost 10 months that we have been shut down. We will come back, and when we come back, every single show, the 3 left over from the past season and the 7 titles or 8 titles we have from the new season will all be back. And as Michael said, we will have to spread them out, and when we know they're starting, we'll book them in and let our subscribers know. But we're looking forward to every single show coming back here to Shae's.
Excellent. So how about seat assignments? When shows do come back, if I'm a season ticket holder, do I get to keep my seating assignment?
Every season ticket holder will be able to keep their seats. We have already done over 12,000 renewals. We are very fortunate, and Buffalo loves theater. Over the years, with the partnership with Al, we've been able to build up one of the strongest subscription bases in the US. And we have over 12,000 people who are ready to get back in the theater. So all of those folks are able to keep their seats moving forward, and they will be back in them seeing all of the shows.
12,000 people ready to go and see some theater. That is super exciting. So can you talk a little bit about the process? We recognize that we don't know when theater will come back again, but what is the process for a show to start on Broadway and end up on the road in a tour? Is that a long process that we have to wait to start over again for?
So I think there's several questions in that question, Thembi. I think clearly, to go all the way back, when a show gets ready to tour, most often it's a show that's had some level of success on Broadway. And if you look at the season that we announced, there were certainly some of the big hits around Broadway over the last 2 years, as an example. But as we talk about what's going on right now, what happens on Broadway versus what happens on the road is really dependent on the model. And the business model on Broadway is so different than the business model on the road. Right now, Broadway is shut down through May. What that means is they're giving refunds to all those shows that people had bought tickets for. But when Broadway reopens, they have to recast, rehearse, remount, reboot. There are no season tickets on Broadway. There are no tourists on Broadway. So they're going to be dependent on advanced sales. Right now, there isn't a single show on sale on Broadway, except for one, I think. And so when it's safe to go back to Broadway, they will have to do all of that. For us, as Michael just mentioned, we're built on a subscription model on the road. We're so fortunate to have over 12,000 people, again, who said, we want to come to Shae's when the season opens. And so when it's time to go, when the whistle is blown, we just need a couple of weeks to get those shows rehearsed, back in the trucks, and back out on the road. What's most important, however, is that when they go out on the road, they just can't come to Buffalo. They got to be able to go to Cincinnati. They got to be able to go to Louisville. They got to go to Los Angeles. They got to go to Chicago. So it's not just one city reopening, it's the entire country. And when the entire country can open and the shows can go from city to city, we'll be part of that.
And when the shows do return, we'll be following all the safety protocols that are mandated by the state, by the County of Erie. We'll be looking for the leadership from them to guide us through that. We're also working with our partner unions, other theaters around the country. We continue to look for the very best and latest methods of keeping everyone safe, backstage, in the house, in the audience, as people are coming in and out of the theater. Very important to us, no matter where we are in returning to theater.
So we're members of the Broadway League, and Al, you're heavily involved with that. We've partnered with you all many times on different initiatives, particularly education initiatives. Would love to hear a little bit more about that.
Well, as you know, Thembi, we're so fortunate the League has been working so hard with all the presenting partners around the country, including Shae's, of course. One of the programs we're very excited about that's on hold as well is the Jimmy Awards, something I think you know very well and it's dear to your heart, which involves the Kenny Award winners here who participate in it. Of course, we can't have that live presentation, and for our subscribers and patrons that are listening in tonight and watching, the Jimmy Awards is a high school Tony Award program where young people from around the country come to New York in June, and we actually have an awards show for them, and the winners get a big scholarship, and many of them have gone on to participate in shows on Broadway and in television. But sadly, we can't do that this year, and weren't able to do it this past year. But this coming year, we're talking about doing it virtually and having everybody participate and do it. We're working on that program now, so we're excited that that's going to be able to be maintained during this shutdown, if you will. And then all the other programs that we have. They're particularly proud of our diversity inclusion program, where we have young people, particularly young people that are in colleges, working with company managers and internship programs when shows come to town, shadowing them, if you will, backstage, learning about all the other careers in the theater besides just being an actor or a stagehand. So there are many other programs, and we're glad that those will continue on as we move forward.
I am thrilled about those programs and excited that we've gotten a chance to participate in a number of them. There's also, if I recall, a careers.broadway site where people can learn more about careers on Broadway.
That's correct. There is reflected, of course, all the many, many jobs in the theater that a lot of young people just don't think about when they think about theater.
That's one of the things I think is really important, is that we're helping to expand people's understanding of what theater is.
Exactly.
Right? What it requires, and what this whole ecosystem is made of.
Exactly.
So hopefully more folks will join us in this wonderful field.
And we're hoping the same thing for sure.
And Thebe, you have a lot of exciting things planned for the future. Why don't you share a little bit about that?
Sure. I'm really excited about the fact that our team is working very hard on building relationships and establishing programs that we hope will carry us into the years to come. And now we've got more to think about in terms of social distancing, and in terms of when a vaccine becomes available, how to engage with people. One of the big parts of our mission is to expand the definition of community engagement. And of course, for us, everything is rooted from theater. So all the engagement we do is theater-based. For instance, we do theater-based body language training with a number of communities around town. We've worked with interns, we've worked with young professionals across all fields of the region, and we've also, most excitingly, worked with law enforcement officers. That's a really, really interesting initiative that has gotten a lot of attention lately that we're excited to continue expanding. Those are just some of the examples. We're also in conversation with various seniors. We're working with groups that focus on people who have autism, on people who have disabilities, and we're just all over the map. Our goal is to reach out to everyone in this region and beyond, but using theater as the baseline for those connections. And we're really excited about that.
Great.
So now I want to go to some of our questions from our subscribers. Yeah, are you ready? Okay. Rennie Stevens says, we miss our beautiful Shaes. When Shaes is allowed to reopen, what are the plans for social distancing all the patrons?
Well, I think we answered part of that, Thembi, when we talk about the economics of our industry and how we can only open when it's safe enough that we can't social distance, or don't, because we need all of the seats that are available. Certainly within that context, we're all going to be following the protocols that are required by the state, and for people to feel safe, whether it's mask or whether it's the sanitation requirements. And I think Michael can speak to that, but we will follow every guideline. But again, to reiterate, when we open as an industry, when the Broadway touring industry opens, it will be at full capacity.
Thank you. And Michael, from the theater standpoint?
We'll be taking every necessary precaution. We have state-of-the-art air filtration. We will be going to digital ticketing, which we're very excited about. We'll take every precaution that's required, that's necessary. We will go above and beyond.
Excellent. So Michael Lansky wants to know, when will existing season ticket holders be able to relocate their seats?
Well, right now, because of COVID, we're on pause. And once we find out when we'll be able to reopen, we will pick up where we left off, and we'll be able to move forward with that. But right now, we don't have a date.
We have an anonymous question. Can I skip a year and keep my seats for next season?
Well, that's kind of an interesting question. And I don't like to use this word, but organically, we are skipping a year. We were supposed to start here this summer with Teching To Kill a Mockingbird and go into the fall. And as we sit here today, we were getting ready for something called Hamilton, but that got postponed. So the year is being moved as we go by each month, if you will. So right now we're 9, almost 10 months into this. As we get ready to cross over into January and we start getting our new dates, all those shows, as we mentioned before, will become the next season, the season that was already announced. So there will be no year missed. It will be everything just being moved, unfortunately, across the whole country, that 10, 12, whatever number of months it is before we get restarted.
Bruce Duncan asks, could we skip the entire 2020-2021 season and still keep our assigned seats for the following season?
Well, Bruce, for better or worse, we're doing that. And we're going to be able to fulfill that for you as much as we wouldn't like to. But we are not going to be doing the shows this season, 2021, but we'll be bringing them back in 21-22 and perhaps in 22-23, along with some other shows in between. So there is no need to take time off. You'll be able to renew your tickets, keep your seats, and we've already had over 12,000 people renew, and there are others that are anxious to do that once we resume, when we know when we'll be reopening.
Nadine Clifford says, I had tickets to the last few shows that had to be canceled in 2019. What is the plan for reimbursement of those shows or credit toward another show as Shae's or a future subscription?
Unfortunately, Hello Dolly was canceled, but that was the only show remaining in the season that was canceled. The other three had been postponed. So we contacted all the patrons who were unable to see Hello Dolly, asked them if they would like to make a donation to Shae's, receive a credit to their account, or receive a refund. And we are very grateful to all of those patrons who made a donation to Shae's. That's been a big help in this crazy time. But if anyone hasn't received a call or a message or hasn't had their ticketing issue or question resolved, we encourage them to reach out to the box office, and we'll be happy to take care of them right away.
Those were some exciting shows.
We had the bands Visit, Anastasia, Margaritaville. They were all on the schedule, and they will be back sometime in the future. We're looking forward to those shows. There was some great stuff in that season, and in this season too. We're really looking forward to having all of those shows back.
I can't wait. Mark Mancuso wants to know, will Shae's be announcing next year's season in early spring, or are all future productions on hold? He says, if a new 2021-2022 season is scheduled, how will all the missed productions be scheduled in? Seems like a very heavy season once we're open.
That's a great question. And Mark, so the 2021 season is going to start in 21. And the announcement that we'll have, that we normally have, will be the announcement of the new dates for the shows that we announced this past March, because we have lost several months. Again, sitting here tonight, almost 10 months, and by the time we reopen, could be another 2 or 3 months, and who knows. So that next season, or that new season, will be the season that's already announced. But another way to understand it, Mark, is that everything shut down. Broadway shut down. All the new shows that were supposed to open this past spring on Broadway, they didn't open. So they're not going out on the road until they reopen and get opened on Broadway. So we are dependent on all the shows that were supposed to tour this past season. That will be our new season. Sounds complicated, but it's not. We're going to open with everything that was announced and everything that's going to go back out on the road. The 3 shows that Michael talked about that were part of the last season will be part of all the shows, along with those announced in March. We're going to have a busy season here at Shae's, but when we announce, all of those shows will be here. And then in 22-23, we'll have another announcement.
So everything that is going to show up here at Shae's, it's just going to get pushed.
Everything is being pushed, right?
Linda wants to know, what will I have to do if I discarded a ticket from a show that was canceled due to the virus?
You're all set. We're going to be able to take care of you. Your tickets are reflected in your account in our ticketing system. And if you need any help with either reprinting a ticket, or once we have our dates set, you want to switch night on your subscription, we'll be able to take care of that very conveniently in the box office. Give us a call once we know what the dates are. Happy to take care of you.
Perfect. Okay, so we've answered lots of questions from our subscribers and helped people learn and understand a little bit more about the world of theater. Any parting thoughts to share?
Thank you, Tembi. I think we have answered a lot of questions, and we recognize that this is a difficult time for everyone, and for us here at Shae's and for our subscribers to understand what's happening is not easy. Clearly, we're working very hard at getting these shows back here. When the industry reopens, all the shows, the 3 shows that were postponed, Margaritaville, Anastasia, Band's Visit, will be rescheduled. And all the shows that we announced will also be coming to Shae's. When that happens, we don't know quite yet. But certainly the next big announcement for us will be giving them new dates at some point in the future, when they will know that all the shows that we had left over and the new season will start. And we look forward to seeing everybody and to thank everybody for their enormous support and patience and understanding.
We encourage anyone with questions to contact us, to call the box office, or email us at patronservices@shays.org. And they can check online on our website. There's a subscriber section where we will continue to post updates in our FAQ. And of course, when we have the big news about the season reopening, we will send that out via email, and it'll be out loud and clear. So we want to thank everyone in Buffalo for their support. We want to thank people for being here tonight, and we want to thank Buffalo for being a great theater town. We're so grateful.
Thank you so much, Albert and Michael, for being here. Thank you for joining us, and thank you for your questions.
And we have one final request. Please wear a mask.